Yeah, this is where the journey of trying to figure out the best handheld footage has taken me.
Don't film this!
I love handheld footage. The raw look, how it enhances the action, how it tells story without even having to say anything. But what's the best way of getting really nice cinematic handheld footage? Let's look at all the things you need to think about when you're trying to get handheld footage and work our way up to what I think might be the best way to get handheld footage right now. These kinds of tests are really stressful because you feel like you're always doing something wrong. It's not scientific, but still you kind of want to do a good job. So, all right, let's begin. First example, no stabilization, 16 mil. Let's go for it. I'm actually curious, is it just like super good and all the things I'm gonna say is like, you don't even notice the difference. Now we have standard stabilization on. Now we put on active stabilization. All right, now we just gotta do that like 50 more times. 24 mil, back to no stabilization. All right, standard stabilization. We got the BTS cam. Look at that, look at the BTS cam. What is it, what is it? All right, this is 24 mil standard stabilization. All right, 24 mil active stabilization. Stop laughing, guys.
I'm slowly walking towards you like this.
Shake is good. Jitters are bad. The micro jitters just do not look good. Handheld is supposed to be shaky depending on how far you want to go with it, but the micro jitters are just bad all of the time. And there's a few things that can cause this. Number one would be rolling shutter. So basically most cameras, they don't capture the whole image at once. They kind of scan through the sensor of the image. So if you capture the first few lines of your image here, and then as it's scanning down, you're doing handheld and you move it over here, by the time it gets to the bottom now, you're actually capturing this way, not that way. So you get this kind of rolling shutter jello effect, which is really nasty, especially for handheld footage. That's why you want a fast rolling shutter. Like for example, the FX3 has a really fast one, or even better, a global shutter where it exposes or captures the image all at once. That's why film is incredible for handheld footage, because it's taking the whole frame at once. No rolling shutter nastiness. Number two, your focal length can greatly exaggerate that jitter. So on a wide lens, you're not really gonna notice the jitter as much. It kind of just smooths everything out a little bit. But the further you punch in, you get to like a 50 mil, you can see those micro jitters a lot and it gets real bad. That doesn't mean that you can't do handheld on a more zoomed in lens. You just have to be careful of your setup and what are kind of the strengths and weaknesses. All right, now we're at 35 mils, no stabilization on.
I can't look.
It's gonna be like 5 out of 10 is just gonna be Isaac laughing on that shot of us. All right, standard stabilization. Don't you dare laugh, Isaac.
That one was on you guys.
All right, we're on 35 mil active stabilization. All right, look up, Isaac. For the record, I'm walking like a foot away from that drop. Safety first, right guys? Safety first. All right, now we're gonna put on the 50 mil. Yeah. All right, got the 50 mil on there. Let's continue the tests. All right, 50 mil, no stabilization. Oh, that is beautiful. Just beautiful jittery. Incredible. We got standard stabilization on now. $50 mil active stabilization on. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. Isaac, don't laugh. Don't. Now, electronic stabilization can be really great and IBIS can be really nice, but does it work for handheld footage? So I wanted to test out the FX3 with no stabilization, standard stabilization, and then enhanced stabilization. Basically, the standard is, I believe, basically just the IBIS built into the camera, and then enhanced is IBIS plus some electronic stabilization or digital post-stabilization. That's why it crops in a little bit. And the first, without any stabilization, is pretty bad. It is not a good look. You're getting a lot of those jitters. It's not looking great. The standard actually looks pretty nice to me. I think this is like a good amount of like in-camera stabilization where it's cutting out some of those micro jitters, but it's keeping a lot of the look still alive. And then we get to the enhanced stabilization, and this just, for handheld, this is not a good look. It's basically smoothing out a lot of the movement, the micro jitters and stuff, which that's great. But then it does this like jerky, nasty movement. It's just not the look you want for handheld footage. This is not organic looking. It is not good in my opinion. Little budget camera sack. Okay, this is probably a little hard, but if I had just a little like jacket here or something foam, like I feel like that's probably gonna do the same job. So we're gonna try to go 35. It's a little in my face. Okay, I definitely need the sack. All right, Isaac, you ready? Let's do sack mode, standard stabilization. I don't like sack mode. I can't see where I'm looking well enough. I really think having image stabilization kind of defeats the purpose of handheld. Like right away, I'm like, that's not handheld. That's not it. Like, that's not the look we want. IBIS can be really great, but if it's too much, then it just starts looking like not handheld footage. It looks more like a gimbal or something like that. And so IBIS isn't really ideal either, but I will say, at least on the FX3, having that standard stabilization, which is using just a little bit of IBIS stabilization, actually works pretty well. But the big problem with a camera setup like this for handheld footage is that it's just not heavy enough. This is too light, and therefore every little bump and movement is translated to your sensor, and you get a lot of those nasty micro jitters and just shakes that aren't necessarily what you're looking for when you're doing handheld footage. So to smooth some of that out using physics, we want to add more weight. So we basically rigged out this Pyxis. This is the PL version. We've rigged this out so it has some good weight to it. We got the DZO Arles primes, which are super nice. I think some of the nicest full frame lenses I've seen for a while that are actually like pretty budget friendly. T19 is 14 mil. I think the rest are T15 maybe. And yeah, we've just rigged it out a little bit, give it some weight so we can go handheld and see what the difference is. We're gonna try the 14 mil, the 21 mil, and 40 mil, because that's what we got right now. This Tilda map box, the Mirage, is clutch. You've got variable NDs right here. And then you can actually put a little motor here and control it with the Nucleus Nano 2. So you can be focusing and you can use like the zoom rocker to control the variable ND. It's very smart. I like that a lot. So that adds some weight. And then we mounted a small HD monitor here. And then we have the DJI Focus Pro system. So that adds a little bit more weight. And then a battery and kind of like the cage system here. And this is way heavier than this. This is probably like, I don't know, what is this, like 5 pounds or something, maybe 10 at most. This is close to like 25 pounds, I would say, something around there. And think of these like 2 different boats on the ocean, and there's waves and stuff. The smaller boat, you're gonna feel every single little wave and bump, and you're gonna get all those movements. Whereas this big ship over here has a little more heft to it, so it just cuts through a lot of those small waves, and still you get some of those bigger waves for sure. You get the right movement, but all those nasty little micro jitters are now gone. And basically it's just because it's heavy, so your body is kind of like stabilizing it. It's just easier to stabilize, whereas if something's really light, it's really hard to keep it like perfectly stable. And that's why big cinema cameras have a really nice handheld look because of that weight. All right, I think we are all good to go. Focus Pro system is working. Ooh, it's looking good. 14 mil. This thing's a beast. All right, Isaac, this is 14 mil handheld Pyxis heavier rig. Let's see how she goes. And that's where we run into the next problem, is that this isn't a huge cinema rig. This is already pretty heavy, and if you have to use this for many hours at a time, you are gonna be exhausted. But there's good news. We bust out the EasyRig, which is basically just like a backpack with this arm. And so then you can clip this onto your camera. And now instead of your arms taking all the weight of this camera, like it's not too bad for a little bit, but after a while, this gets really heavy. Now we can attach this. Now I don't even have to use my hands. The EasyRig takes all the weight. Your back is much stronger than your arms. So I can go like this for a long time and then put my hands on here, take some of the weight if I need to, but more so I can just focus on the camera movements and the handheld footage. All right, now we got the EasyRig. This is the EasyRig Minimax, I think. But let's check out what this looks like. I apologize, I've made a huge cinematography mistake. This whole time I've been going to this side over here and doing this. Now, first of all, when I have this on, look at the shadow that I'm casting on Isaac. Plus, I've just been filming the bright side of his face the whole time. I'm an idiot.
Idiot.
But now we have to continue because we've done so many tests on this side already. I apologize. Yeah, look at that nice shadow side, and then on this side, just a little, well, actually in the shade. For the record, I'm pretty sure we did start in the shade and the sun has moved. So maybe we should just, okay, let's just do that. We'll move Isaac slightly back. I apologize, that ruins the whole, it was a scientific study up until this point. Now it's not scientific anymore. This EasyRig has saved so many filmmakers' backs. It's incredible. It's a great tool, really great. But the problem is it adds a lot of unwanted shake. If you're just like planted and you're getting shots like this, great, no problem. If you need to follow somebody and walk around, this is gonna be moving around. It's kind of like adding another point of shake here because of this wire here. And this doesn't flex at all. It just kind of moves up and down a little bit. And so it's really hard to get really nice handheld footage with an EasyRig. But we have a solution for that also. That's where this guy that I just got comes into play. This is the Mantis. Let's rig this up. So similar thing, the weight is now on my back, so like I can let go of the camera. Very sketchy because if it falls off here, it's falling down this, how is this, like 10 meters into this water. Stay away from the edge, Spencer, please. Safety first. When you need to move, this Mantis is so good. So it kind of like, see how it doesn't move really at all. Cuts out all the movement, the jitter when I'm running. And I can do like nice low shots and then go real high. It's just very, like I'm barely touching the camera. It's just, like, this is incredible. If you want the best handheld footage right now and you need to shoot like all day, I think this might be the way to go. EasyRig, Mantis, a little bit of weight. Let's try it out. How did you come up with it, and why did you come up with it?
So the Mantis was actually invented by Brett Harrison. He's an Australian camera operator who I've known kind of in the gimbal circle for 10, 12 years now. We met on the FreeFly forums. We met there a long time ago, and we had a coffee like 4 years ago, and he showed me his prototype. It was meant to just get a little more range out of the Ready Rig and a little bit better high frequency stability.
That's like the gimbal rig, 2 arms coming off, and
yeah, the 2-arm rig, you see them all over the place. So it was originally for that. You know, we did all these prototypes, all this testing, and at some point we were like, well, what if we just put this on an EasyRig, you know? And then we tried that, we're like, oh my God, this is awesome. And now like 80%, 90% of them we sell are for the EasyRig.
You were smart in that you came up with this, but then you also got a little bit, in a way, like lucky that you're like, oh, wait a second, we didn't even think about this, but this might actually be a better use for it. Is that kind of what happened? Like, that's how it went down?
Yeah, I mean, what we realized is it's a versatile camera isolator that can mount to anything. So once we kind of realized that, it was off to the races, and now still people send us videos like, oh, I used it like this on a vehicle, or I used 2 of them off a slider, because you know the flexibility is so great. I mean, just being able to do that with a camera,
yeah,
and then be able
insane
to mount the thing doing it anywhere, you know, it's like Legos.
Would you say this is probably one of the best ways to get handheld footage right now in a lot of situations?
Best is a strong word, but I would say it is a new class of handheld. Right? You know, there's the traditional handheld, which is when you start moving around, it gets really shaky and kind of out of control. And what we're finding with this is it's kind of like this new language. It's not quite Steadicam, right? It's this like smooth handheld that's controlled. And I feel like people have gotten tired over the years of like perfect shots, perfect gimbal shots, where a little bit of like naturalness coming back into the frame is becoming popular again. It's like an instrument, you know, it's like people love the synths, and now they're like going back to acoustic guitars that have like a little more humanity in it.
Like if you want handheld footage and you're on a big rig and you gotta shoot for hours, you're gonna need something like the EasyRig. But then the EasyRig introduces a lot of movement, a lot of shake. It completely changes the look. This, I feel like, kind of brings it back to what like handheld actually you want it to look like, or at least a closer version of that.
I'd say it's the closest you can get to filming with an iPhone with a big camera, right? Because it creates this weightless rig in front of you that you can hold far away, you can be high and low, and like, you know, when you scout, you're always shooting on your iPhone, you're like, yeah, we'll do this. And the camera operator is like, yeah, but that's gonna be a 40-pound camera on my shoulder. I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's like now with this, you can be low, you can be high, you can be on your shoulder if you want to run it this way. You know, we have this quick shift kind of adjustment up there. And then it just feels weightless, and then all the tension is right here, so you can adjust the height and everything. So I use it on every job I do now. I don't leave without this with me.
Well, I think I need to come visit you in LA, and you can actually show me all the different ways you use it, because it's pretty freaking versatile and cool. And yeah, congratulations on being geniuses. It's very impressive.
Thank you. I love that I'm just full on wearing it in this shot right now.
Isn't that you wear it all the time now, right? That's
That's it's permanently attached to my body.
Okay, good. Let's try a different lens now. 21 mil. Put on our little matte box.
Is anybody else excited about these lenses? They look really nice. I just love wide lenses. 14 mil, so good.
All right, let's try the 21. All right, 21 mil handheld on the Pyxis. I'm just gonna quickly vlog this a little bit here. Hey guys, we're doing another camera test. $40 mil here. This is handheld 40 mil on the Pyxis. I remember towards the end of my freelance DPing career, before I started YouTube, me and Mark Bone actually, we had super heavy Sony, were they F5s or something? And we were shooting off the shoulder, no EasyRigs, on a super hot day. It was exhausting. With an EasyRig, it's still tiring, but it's not nearly as tiring, especially if you shoot the way that I like to shoot, which is kind of this. I like shooting almost from the hip or a little bit higher. I rarely like to shoot from here because that's how we look at each other. So that's kind of boring like that. I think it's much more interesting to see from this view. And then it also kind of, if you're doing dock stuff, it kind of breaks the ice when, you know, when somebody's coming at you with a camera like this, hey, say something. Sure, yeah. Whereas if you're just like, yo, what do you think, Spencer, about the new FX3, you know? When do you think it's gonna come out? Like, we're just talking, you know, and I'm getting you at the same time here, so. Oh, okay, let's do a couple more tests here. Spot there. All right, 40 mil, let's go for it. 40 mil Mantis. This thing is incredible. With this setup, I could shoot for hours because my arms aren't getting tired, and I'm getting really nice handheld footage, even if I'm moving around, walking around, no problems.
Now what you didn't see is that I did a full-on aerobics class just for that intro shot. We did it so many times. It's so tiring, heavy. You know how tiring it is jumping around like that?
All right, I'm exhausted, winded. Cinematography is no joke. Better be fit if you're gonna be a cinematographer. That is what I think is probably the best way to get handheld footage right now if you need to be doing it for a long time. If you're, you know, doing it for like 5 minutes at a time, yeah, just go handheld with a heavy camera like this. If you need to be shooting handheld for like an hour, 2 hours at a time, definitely get an EasyRig and definitely check out the Mantis. It is incredible. All right, that's it for me. Hope that helps you guys get some more cinematic handheld footage. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. By the way, does anybody want a review of the Pyxis? Is anybody curious about this thing? Let me know.